back to my channel. I'm your fave nurse B. If you're new to my channel, you should definitely think about subscribing. I have a series called You Can Be a Nurse. Basically, I'm going to tell you as many things as I can about how to be a nurse, how you can become a nurse, tips and tricks when you become a nurse, while you're in nursing school, when you take NCLEX, all of that, because I truly feel like if you want to become a nurse, if you want to get into this field, like, you can do it. You can accomplish your career goals. It's possible. And anything that I can share with you all, I'm definitely going to share with you all. So today, this is a big topic. A lot of people, I get a lot of questions about this. Even when I was in nursing school, people were like, how are you working full-time and in school? So I'm going to tell you all what my experience was personally. First, I'm going to start off with that, and then I'm going to break it down really well as to how you can incorporate some of the tips that I have into your life. So starting off, I was working as a CNA at a nursing home, and I was going to school to become an LPN. So before I even got into school, and before I even started school, I got my your congratulations letter, and I took that letter, and it had a schedule on it, and I typed out what schedule I wanted to work, and I took that to the person who does scheduling at my job, and I told her, this is when I start school, and she approved it. So this is how my schedule was in the beginning. So I started off going to school Monday through Friday. And then I would go to school Monday through Friday between like 8 and 3, I think. 8 and 3. Yeah. School was from 8 to 3. And then I would work a single shift, which is 8 hours. I would work a single shift every Thursday. And I was able to come in around 4 o'clock, from 4 to 11. Because you're supposed to actually clock in at 2:30, but I worked it out with my HR person, and she was like, okay, it's cool. That's who does the scheduling at my job, or who did. She was like, okay, it's cool. You can come in at 4 o'clock to 11. That's okay. I'll let you do that. And then I worked every weekend, 16-hour shifts. So from 6:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, Saturday and Sunday, every single weekend for the entire year while I was in nursing school. And for about the first 6 months, when we were only doing classes, I went to school Monday through Friday, worked Thursday evening, and then I worked all weekend and started it back over. So I didn't have any days off those first, I would say, 4 to 6 months. And then once we got into clinicals, we dropped our Friday. So you didn't have to go to school on Fridays. So what I did was I changed it so that instead of working Thursday evening, I worked Thursday overnight. So I would go in at 10:30 at night and get off at 7 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning, and be off that whole day because we didn't have school. Now, there were some days that we did have school. Basically, we had like makeup days or whatever. We would have to come in, and it was really horrible because I would, be getting right off of work and going literally straight to school. Like, I couldn't do anything. I would work overnight and go straight to school. It was hard to do that, and then turn around, get out of school, try to get some rest, try to, get work done for the next week, because I had to work all weekend, and then go to work 16 hours back to back on the weekend. So it was tough. It was hard, but before I started school, I had it in my mind, like, Brandy, you're going to be successful. You're going to do this. You're going to get through this. You're going to make it happen. This is what you need to do, and we're going to get it done. So that's what I made up in my mind, that I was going to do it. And I was able to accomplish it. Went through working full-time the entire time while in school, and I graduated valedictorian in my class. So it is possible. Thank you, Jesus. It is possible. So that's how it was for me. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I think that's really important with working full-time or working in general while you're in school is you need to identify what makes it difficult. So of course we know it's hard. Pretty much anything in life that you want to accomplish is going to be hard to accomplish. There's going to be a lot of obstacles on your way there. So, but the thing that makes it hard with school for me is that you're juggling a lot of different things. You're juggling school, work, kids, maybe your spouse. You might be juggling maybe you're an entrepreneur, you have your own business, you're juggling that as well. And it's just like all these different things in your life that you're trying to prioritize. And that's the thing, you have to prioritize your time. So that's what makes it difficult, is that it's this juggling act. And really, at the end of the day, you can't give 100% to everything in your life. So I broke it down. So there's school, work, and life. There's these 3 sections of your life in general. When I say life, I mean more so like family, friends, and yourself, like your own personal things or things that you do, or just yourself outside of work and school. So those 3 categories: school, work, and life. You have those 3 things, and you're trying to deal with all 3 of them, and there's no line of demarcation. Like when you're at work, it's not just work. You still got to deal with school and life, all that is still in your head. When you're with your family, you still got to think about school and work. So it's like there's no, like, everything just bleeds into each other, and they all affect each other. But you have to prioritize. When I did the interview for school, basically what the person said is, she was like, you have to be willing to dedicate a year of your life to this. And when she said that, I was like, that's true. And when you just think about it like that, like, I'm just putting a year of my life to something. Now, of course, depending on what you're doing, if you're going into an LPN program, or if you're going into an RN or BSN, whatever it is that you're trying to do, of course it's going to be longer or short or whatever the case may be. But just think about the time. Like, even just break it up. Like, okay, I need to do this for 6 months. And then after 6 months, you kind of like recharge yourself with, okay, another 6 months. Like, you got to kind of take it like a bite at a time. But anywho, so there's 3 things that I would say that come in, besides those 3 categories that I said that you're juggling. There's 3 other things that make it hard. Is that you have distractions. That's something that deters you from being able to be successful. Time, we know limited time is something that discourages you. And also stress. So those 3 things are what we're going to look at real quick. So as far as distractions, so when it comes to school, I would say the biggest distractions that you have at school is your classmates. I know with us, it started off with 28 women and 2 males, and we were all in one classroom every day, 5 days a week together. We did everything together except for clinicals, and we broke up into groups, but we were still together. So the distraction comes when, of course, it's all adults. Everybody feel like they got to say what they need to say, and everybody got an opinion. And when you're trying to learn, sometimes it's like you got these other people distracting you, because people are not always respectful in classrooms. I'm telling you. Of course, everybody knows that. Like, you have people talking trying to get on their phone, they arguing with the teacher. I was one of those people. I was one that was like, no, on page such and says this. Like, it was horrible. But anywho, you just got so much going on. You ask the teacher a question and everybody in your class want to answer. Like, there's so many distractions that can come in a classroom. But the biggest thing I would say is to make sure you hang out with the right people. You can get with people who will cheat their way through nursing school. Don't hang out with them. Like, that's not cool. Because at the end of the day, something I want everybody to think about is, whenever you're going through this road of becoming a nurse, just say, look, I am going to be someone's nurse. I am going to be someone's nurse. I have no room to be BSing with anybody. I'm going to be somebody's nurse. I'm going to be in a position to save somebody's life, to educate someone, to make somebody's day. I am going to be that person. So I cannot allow people and things in life to get in my way of becoming somebody's nurse. So think about that throughout this whole video, and just throughout your whole journey through nursing. And even when you become a nurse, say, I'm somebody's nurse. I gotta chill out. I gotta just do what I gotta do. Suck it up and get the work done. So as far as distractions, like I said, with school, remember, we're doing 3 categories. So with school, make sure you hang out with the right people. Try to be with somebody who, if you see in their class that they're really organized, or they're, they ask the right questions, they answer questions, like they seem like they know what they're doing. Try to be cool with them. Even if you think your personality won't match with that person can make you stronger. And they might help to center you and make you more focused on what you need to do. Also, what I would say, in the first part of my class, I think we had I didn't sit, I sat kind of front and center. And then the second time, we like moved classrooms the second half, and I still sat like directly in the front row. I definitely suggest that you try to sit front and center or sit in the front row. Even if you cool with such and such and them over there, don't sit next to them. Sit away from them. You can hang out with them during break, during lunch, whatever, but separate yourself from that. You're in the classroom to learn. You're not there to play. Like, at the end of the day, like I said, you're going to be somebody's nurse. So those are two things I would say to do as far as removing the distractions that you get from school. So from your work life, the distraction might come when you're working, as far as you have to decide what you're willing to do. Are you willing to work 40 hours a week? Or you just want to do 32 hours a week? Or are you willing to work overtime? Think about, before you go into this whole process, think about, okay, look, I'm only going to work these amount of hours. No matter what they say, this is what I'm working. And you stick to that, because the distraction is going to be, oh, I want to get my nails done. Oh, I want to get my hair done. Oh, I need to get this. I need to get that. And you're like, let me pick up a few more hours. Don't do it. That's a distraction. Work can become a distraction. It can stop you from using that time to study or to relax. You instead of using that time to study or relax, you chasing money. This is not the time to chase money. You need to dedicate whatever amount of time that you're dedicating, a year, 2 years, or whatever, to school. And then you have the rest of your life to chill and be somebody's nurse and chill, make that money. But for right now, do not get distracted by work. Remember, like I said in my other videos, preparing for nursing school, make sure you watch that. It really helps you with also just how you can prepare for nursing school, especially when you know you're going to be working full-time or working at all. But your job does not care about you going to school. They don't care. That ain't got nothing to do with them right now. What they need right now from you does not involve you going to school. So focus on, decide what you want to do and stick to it when it comes to your work schedule. Do not let your job or money or issues distract you from you becoming a nurse. And in the third category, which I said is our life category, there's a lot of distractions from your family and your friends, and also just from your own self. Like, oh, I just want to sit back and watch TV, watch Netflix and chill. Like, that's all I want to do. That is a distraction. TV is a distraction. So definitely talk with your family and friends before you go into school. Be like, look, like, I love y'all, but I'm just not going to be able to do it. But I need y'all to encourage me and help me so that I can stay focused. Now, at the end of the day, you know, your kids and even your spouse, I mean, at some point they're selfish because they want to spend time with you. And I mean, you can't fault them from that, because you're part of their life. They love you, they want to be with you, and they may not understand it, but you have to have that talk with them, and you have to just be willing to say no. Somebody wants you to take them somewhere. Oh, can you do this for me? Can you do that? No, I can't do it. I'm studying. I have to go to school. I got to go to work. I can't do it. Eventually, guess what? They're going to stop asking. If you keep saying no enough, people are going to stop asking you to do stuff for them. Like, especially as women, you know, some of us we take on a lot, and we're always the one that runs and jumps to somebody's rescue. But I learned long ago to say no, especially my husband. He taught me to say no. So also, the one thing I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, you didn't have kids, that's why you were able to be so successful. You ain't got kids, you married, you good. Like, that's why, at the end of the day, I say, and anybody can take this any way they want, I don't see kids as an excuse to not be successful. If anything, I see having kids as the reason to push and propel you to accomplish your goals, because you want to do the very, very best you can for your children, so you can give them the best life that you can give them. So when people say that, it's like, I don't get offended, but I feel like, how are you using your kids as an excuse to not do well? Like, that's only because I've seen people with kids. Like, my best friend, she had her baby, and like 3 months later, she enrolled in school full time. And before she had her baby, she wasn't even going to school. But her baby just motivated her to go back to college and do what she got to do. And now she's on the road to becoming a nurse. So I don't know. I don't see why people use it. Maybe they're just like, people have to find a reason to be like, oh, that's why you're successful, because you don't have kids. Oh, that's why. Whatever, boo. I got what I got. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, don't use anything as an excuse to not be successful, to not be able to do this. Use it as a strength. I got my kids. They motivated me. whatever your personal situation, I know we all got personal situations where things might be rough and tough for you, but just try to find strength in that, pray on it, get yourself a cheerleader, and just know, okay, I'm going to be somebody's nurse. I'm going to be somebody's nurse. I can do this. All I got is 6 more months. All I got is a year left. I can do this. I can make this happen. You know, you have to really find like that inner like will to succeed. You have to believe in yourself and know that you can do it, and not allow people or anything or issues. You're gonna always have money issues with a family, with your spouse, with your kid. You're gonna always have them problems. They're never gonna go away. Everything in your life is always gonna be a distraction from what you're trying to accomplish. So like I said, don't use it as an excuse. Find strength in it and just push on through, and you're gonna be a nurse. Okay, babe? So let's move on to our second category that makes it hard to be successful in nursing school. So time. Basically limited amount of time. So when it comes to school, the way that you can combat not having enough time is when you're in class, use your class time. For me, this is what I did. I used my class time to prep. Okay, so when I say prep, this is what I mean. So the biggest thing that helped me, so in my other video, did I talk about it? I'm not sure, but take a quiz, figure out what type of learner you are. And once you know what type of learner you are, it's gonna help you as far as knowing how you should prep. But like I said, I'll do a separate video on how to study and go more into detail about it. But for me, I'm an auditory learner. If I can hear somebody say something, it just clicks to me. Not like, oh, like I remember everything somebody says, but it's just, I don't know, I'm one of those people that hang on people's words, like, and I don't know, I can listen to what somebody say and I got it. It's just me, and that's just that. But anywho, and I can learn a lot through asking questions, and like, I don't need to be a tactile person to learn. I can hear you say and I kind of get it. But of course, you know, with anything with learning, it's all kind of combined, because at some point with nursing, you're gonna have to learn how to do things hand-on. But anywho, with me knowing I'm an auditory learner, the best thing that worked for me is I recorded my lecture. So get you an app on your phone or on your tablet, even on your laptop, and record lectures. If you're gonna record a lecture, make sure you put whatever your recording device is, you put it right next to the teacher. Now, sometimes teachers, they stand and they walk around a lot, but if anything, just put it in the front of the classroom, the podium or whatever it is, so that you'll be able to hear. Otherwise, like I said, you got a lot of distractions going on in that classroom. Everybody want to chime in and talk and chew gum and eat and do all this extra stuff. You don't want that on your recording, so try to get it as close to the teacher as possible when you record. So when you record the videos, when you record the lectures, here's how you can kind of use the struggle of time or the limited time that you have very wisely. So you take that recording, you can listen to it while you're in the shower, listen to it while you're driving. Like I did a lot of commuting. I would go to school, to work, from work to home, to the bank, whatever the case may be, and you could just listen to that lecture while you're driving. So if anything, a lot of us, we probably spend about an hour and a half, maybe even more driving, and that's an hour and a half plus that you're using to study. And all you're doing is listening to what the teacher has to say. All you're doing is listening. That's it. So definitely record lectures and try to listen to them whenever possible. You at the gym, you want to work out, listen to the lecture while you're working out. I know it's kind of hard sometimes because you want to like be in it, but listen to the lecture while you're working out. That's something to do. So the next thing I would say that I did as far as prepping is I would do my note cards, my flashcards while I was in class. And like I said, I'll do a separate video. Get all that done while you're in class, because you're already in class. So you already have to dedicate that time to school. So why not use that time to make it so when you're outside of school, you have these materials that you can use to study versus you're in class just sitting there listening, okay? And then when you get home, you gotta write all this stuff out. So that might take another hour and some change to write all of it out. And then you got to turn around and actually study this material. Whereas that hour plus time you were in class, you can just be writing out your notes. So when you get out of class, you can just study. You don't have to make up this study material for yourself, if that makes any sense. But like I said, I'll do a separate video. But use your class time as time to prepare yourself to make study material for you to look at outside of class. So sometimes if my husband, we were driving somewhere, he would be driving, I'd be looking at my note cards. It was times we'd go out to eat and we waiting for the food to come, I'm looking at my note cards. He would get irritated and I'd be like, why? He's looking at his phone the whole time. We're not even talking. And as soon as I bring out my note cards, oh my goodness, what are you doing? We're supposed to be together, da, da, da. You on your phone. What's the difference between you being on your phone and me looking at notes? But anywho, it's such a weird thing. People get like that sometimes. It's weird. Like having phones is normal, but like actually picking out some type of reading material is just so foreign for people. Like you're not supposed to do that. But anywho, use your time wisely. You waiting in line for something, or you at somebody's office waiting for something, pull out your note cards. Do all that. Or it was times I would write down everything I needed to know for a section or a test or whatever on one sheet of paper, put it in one of those plastic sleeves. Let me see if I can find one. And of course I don't have one close by. But I'll show you all later. Put it in one of those plastic sleeves that you can kind of like put in a binder. You can get it from a dollar store and just carry it around with me while I'm at work or whatever and be able to look at it there, because you can't always pull out your phone. If you take notes on your phone or your laptop, you can't always pull out your phone and look at it, but you can look at a piece of paper while you're at work. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the type of job you got. So use class time as study time / prep time. Time to prep for studying. Also keep your note cards on you, like I said, in your purse, your wallet, your car, whatever. And then record the lectures and listen to them during all your commute time whenever possible. That's a good way to use the limited amount of time that you have wisely.